Ladies and gentlemen, I have the blessed honor of introducing one of the most influential people that I associate with. He doesn't know it, but I've watched everything that he does. I kind of watch it from afar, maybe because I don't want to
Jeez,
intrude, maybe because it's my ego. I don't know what it is, but I just love to
jeez.
watch how he interacts. I love his approaches. I mean, his actual insight is so profound. It takes about 30 seconds for me to fully ingest what he's saying. And so I just nod my head like, yeah, but I'm like, wow, I got like dissect that kind of like Oswald Chambers. He's just really, really deep, deep, deep stuff. So without further ado, let me introduce this amazing individual,
Wow.
former Ohio State football player. I believe once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye, a great guy, and my fraternity brother. He doesn't talk about that, but I'm just going to put him out there. We both was blessed to be in the same fraternity. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up where you're at virtually from my man, Jimmie Bell. Let me
Let it
brag on
simmer.
you for a little bit, okay? As I mentioned, paid for the Ohio State University, I believe was in the 1997 year, was drafted by, I believe it was the New York Giants
Giants.
and the San Diego Chargers. After
Yes.
leaving that, he's been blessed to use that, or God has given him the platform to use that. Jimmy, we talk about God here too, so let's just flow with it. Giving him the platform to use his former life as a professional football player, plus life experiences growing up in Youngstown, Ohio, to just impact, affect, and infect people, in particularly up and coming individuals with tons of potential and youth from all over the world. In fact, his organization, if I'm not mistaken, is called Jimmie Bell Empowers. Correct me if I'm wrong with that.
It
So
is.
Jimmy, let's just jump right in. I love to have scripts and things that I can read, but I also like to just jump in and let's just get in where you fit in and let's just flow with it. Tell me
Both of
about,
I both of us are hip hop guys,
yeah,
so we'll freestyle like Jay-Z. But
okay,
this is the
okay,
concept though.
let's go.
People who know hip hop, they
Right?
think Jay-Z freestyles because he's never written anything down.
Uh huh.
When I talk about preparation, I use him as an example because a lot of people like to freestyle, especially in hip
Right,
hop. Freestyle means something. But I
right.
say, don't get it confused. Jay Z doesn't actually freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
He writes everything in his mind, in his heart, in his soul, and
Right,
then he regurgitates it.
right.
That's not freestyling.
No,
So in the word in this holy scriptures, when it says write that thing down,
right.
that's what he does. He
Wow.
writes everything down, but he doesn't write it on paper, but he writes it in his mind and his heart. He regurgitates it, and in the hip hop game, he is the king, right? He's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, he's okay. He's one of the best. I mean, I would
Listen,
choose like Black Thought or somebody like that on top of him. Now, we're not going to get into a long discussion on this,
we'll
Jimmy.
have to do a hip hop podcast and talk this thing out. But interesting enough, I've been offered a board position for the new hip hop museum that's going up in the Bronx.
But hold on for a second, Jimmy. Hold on, hold
I
on, hold
have
on,
to
hold
tell
on,
you about
hold
that
on, hold on,
story
hold on, hold on,
that
hold
the
on.
Most High
Listen,
put me
listen.
in. It's
Okay,
crazy.
but wait a second. Wait a second. We got to put a pin in that because uh, there are thousands of people, and I'm speaking that thousands of people who are like, you guys are having a full blown selfish conversation because I don't even know who Jimmie Bell is outside of the fact that he played for Ohio State University. So why don't we just so why don't we start? In fact, let's not even start at Ohio State. Let's talk about the evolution of Jimmie Bell leading up to Ohio State, and
Okay.
I believe that the wealth is in transformations and transitions. So let's talk about leading up to that. What was it like playing at Ohio State and then moving from there and this habit just move to where you are today? And I want to hear about that Bronx Hip Hop Museum.
So to let everybody, first of all, I'm honored and privileged to be here. If
Mhm.
the introduction was overwhelming, humbling, and honorable. If anyone has never seen an African blush, you made me blush. Now, at the same time, I pay well people. I tell everybody, pay people well to say nice things about
Right,
you.
right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying? I'm teasing, but I do tell people your character and consistency of your character will take you to places that and put you in tables in front of people that you don't even actually deserve to be in. So
True.
I really work on being consistent with who I am and my presentation and who I've chosen to be based upon my creation of the Most High. But my journey is I think I won't say it's different, but it's definitely eclectic from a perspective of most people in our position. Shawn, they had dreams of playing
Right.
at a particular college, or dreams of using athletics to pay for school, or had dreams of going to the NFL. Well, brother, that wasn't my story. I didn't come
Wow.
from an athletic family. I was the only one and didn't know it. So I
Mm.
was having fun. You see what I'm saying? I
Right.
come from a mom, a college educated mom who retired as a detective sergeant of the Youngstown Police Department. And my dad came from a sharecropping family from Montgomery, Alabama, that came up. They all followed the matriarch sister, Emma Bell, to Youngstown, Ohio to work the steel mills. She came
Wow.
up first and it actually wasn't Montgomery, Alabama. It was Raymer, Alabama, but nobody knows where that is. So you say
Uh-huh.
Montgomery, that's the closest. And she plucked Jimmie Carter Bell Jr., the youngest, the only boy and youngest, and he came up to Youngstown, Ohio to work the steel mills. So, bro, my story wasn't that. I think more people saw the potential in myself than I did in my family because I was a big kid. I was athletic, but I didn't really understand what that meant. So when I got to Ohio State, man, I probably was playing. I probably was messing around a lot, not even, out of ignorance, right? I didn't know what it meant to be a Buckeye, really. I didn't know
Right.
the gravity that I was in.
And we don't realize the gravity of our decisions or our indecisions. And this is why it's so important that you have enough humility to have a mentor.
At the minimum, we weren't really sure of our identity. I'll
Sure.
give you a contrast. I came out with Corey Stringer, best friend of mine, who was being groomed to go to the Ohio State and go to the NFL.
Hmm.
So when he got there, he was all about business. I didn't
Right.
even know what that was. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand when I was on scout team while my homie was driving me 25 yards down the field like it was game time. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? Dumping me and going back. You know what I'm saying? And doing it over and over and over and over again. And me being pissed, still kicking it with my homie because that's my homie. I didn't really understand that. I didn't understand what's going on. Lorenzo Styles from Columbus, but actually played his football in Farrell, PA, right across, because we play football in Northeastern Ohio. That's
Right.
Western PA. Same thing. He came here to go to the league, bro. They came here with a mission. They wasn't playing. So they did have what we would call mentors. They had identity and they had direction. Even them choosing their school, right? And
Wow.
there's some instances where I'm just talking. I do believe my journey was appropriate according to the Most High. But let's look at it from a business perspective back then. If I would
Hmm.
have known my identity, if I would have had people surrounding me, leading and guiding me, and me accepting the direction, I may not have ever been to Ohio State. I may have went to maybe Pitt back then, right? I may have stayed in down south and went to Georgia Tech. Who knows? I may have went to Michigan State and been coached by Nick Saban.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So identity is everything. And at that moment in time, I didn't really have it. So there was a lot of plan, a lot of ignorance that, Jimmie Bell was walking in at that moment. It's kind of interesting to even talk about
Yeah. But you know how
it.
the saying goes is that, if you live in the past, you'll die in the present. And
Absolutely.
the amazing thing about God is that God doesn't call to qualify, he qualifies to call. So he
Absolutely.
will just move through any of your mishaps and mistakes, and he'll just recalculate and just move on from there. So you're at Ohio State, you're not taking it 100% serious. You're leaning on your actual ability to play the game, and then now the NFL scouts are coming. They got the microphone. Every time you make a move, they're saying something in the microphone, right? And now it's draft day in the NFL. You're going and you're playing in the NFL. Give me just real briefly about that experience and how it set the platform up for you to move on after.
Quick, I'm going to tell you what's interesting about that. So, again, I'm playing. So I'm almost like Goofy and Faloof, but I'm a baller.
Right.
So my first year in camp, we're doing pass rush drills, just looking like a basketball player, like 190 something pounds, maybe tipping 200, top defensive lineman in the country.
Wow.
Nobody knows how small I really am. I'm killing them, bro. I'm talking, they can't touch me. They're looking. I'm almost going to be a designated pass rusher. The way the dudes look now,
Yeah.
that was the concept that I was bringing to the table because I just wasn't a big dude at all.
Right.
And I tore my ACL. Actually, that's not true. My ACL was already torn in high school. I didn't know it. It kept blowing out in me in practice. So I ended up having surgery and it not healing well. Me playing, lack of identity, right?
Right.
So I went a whole year with being what they would consider a liability because I wasn't moving the way that they recruited me to move. I wasn't active the way that they recruited me to be. I definitely wasn't making plays. My knee was hurt. I couldn't run. I had gained 50 pounds of fat. You feel what I'm saying? All of that. And a super profound moment is when I asked the Most High to come into my life. He
Wow.
told me to go back to the beginning. This is actually 3 years in. He told me to go
Wow.
back to the beginning to be a freshman. He gave me my identity, and then I start walking in my identity. And then I ended up starting my senior year based upon my work put in on my identity. And then
Right.
I get the opportunity to play in the NFL after that. Crazy.
Wow. So now you know, you're in the NFL, you're moving through the NFL, and then, like most people, the NFL is here, then it's gone. In fact, I think that the average lifespan in the NFL is like 2.5 years. Okay. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Three's an exaggeration.
exactly. So now you're in, you're doing your thing, and now God has called you to another platform. So now tell me, Jimmie, I'm really interested. The life lessons
Sure.
that you learned, having your identity in Christ, having the setbacks or setups for the comeback, then now how are you able to make the transition? And I'll be totally honest with you, a lot of players, a lot of former players, they don't
They don't
make
do a
that
good job of making that
transition.
transition.
Yeah, exactly. So how is it that you're able to make that?
Well, in my ignorance, I
Sure.
was still who I was. So the way I thought was still the way the Most High created me. The way I maneuvered, the way that even so I so whether even though I didn't understand what I was doing, I paid attention, bro. I paid attention to everything, bro.
Hmm.
One of the biggest lessons that I understood is I talk about passion. People talk about purpose. I don't talk about purpose like that because biblically it doesn't talk. It says God. It says the Most High has a purpose for you. He didn't actually tell you to figure it out. Me and Dr. Forbes at Columbus Christian Center one day was walking down the hall. I wasn't an arbor bearer to him, but we were really good friends. I think he really
Right.
trusted me. And something hit me probably a week before, and I kind of had that concept. I said, Dr. Forbes, you got people around here struggling, trying to find that one thing in life that they're supposed to do to make them feel as glorious and wonderful as, for instance, they see when they see a Shawn Harper walking. I said, Doc, that's dangerous. I said, because when you put yourself in a space where your happiness and your fulfillment is based upon one thing, getting first place on that pedestal, getting the number one recognition, where's your winning? Where's your success? Where's your fulfillment? Does that make
Right.
sense? Where's
Right.
the process? Where's the journey? Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
our journey in Christ never stops. We don't retire from this thing.
Yeah. But
People operate in their faith like retirement. What's my purpose? I found my purpose. No, you didn't. You have a passion for something. You actually have a like for something, possibly, and you have a gift. The obviousness of our creation is that we have a gift. The way we think, the way we process things. It may be a physical prowess in our gift, the way we put things together. A gift is something that's easier to you, always requires hard work, just comes easy to you, right? That's the gift that God given us. And our worship, to me, is actually putting that gift into whatever opportunities by how we go about. How we go about is our passion, right? That's why I can help someone from football transition out of depression or out of the desert into what they're supposed to do super easy because all I have to do is get them to understand that you were put in the best position to understand what it looks like for the process of success. The same process for success that led Shawn Harper to get a scholarship from a JUCO when no one told him he could play out of Columbus, to actually playing for the Indianapolis Colts, having an incredible career in one of the top dogs in NFL Europe when it was available, to actually having one an incredible businessman and family. The same process to do those other things was the process that you had and you were privileged to participate in at the University of Indiana.
But hold on for
You
a
may
second,
not
Jimmy.
have understood.
Wait. Hold on me for a second, though. So,
Back,
are
back,
you
back it
telling
up.
me I shouldn't pursue the purpose? I should pursue the passion, and then once I lock into the passion, then that'll open the door for the purpose.
Your gift and your passion, that's your responsibility.
Okay,
The purpose is the most high's responsibility. How dare you? How
well, that's
dare
good.
you?
That's good.
How dare you say you believe in the most high and you got him figured out? Man, get out of here with that, bro. Listen, do you know when we'll know what our purpose is?
With
Just say theoretically, allow me to be the painters of your guys' canvas of your mind. Just
uh-huh.
imagine that you're raised up, you pass away. It's about you're about 170 is your choice. It's your time to go. Because you choose, you're the most high, y'all negotiate it, 120, maybe 200, and you're looking down, and somebody's reading the novel of your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? The novel of your life are the choices and the decisions, the people you've met, the things that you've done, the things that you've overcome. Everything that we do every day, our attitude, that goes into the novel of our life. When we're looking down and we see how we're being influenced, how we are influencing others
Mm-hmm.
by them reading our novel, how we're inspiring them to be incredible, to be dominant. Listen, some of y'all going to be inspiring people to be procrastinators. Some of y'all going to inspire people to be depressed. Some of y'all going to inspire people to be positive and progressive. Well,
Mm.
when I look down, now I see what my purpose on earth was. Now I get it.
It's a good point, man.
Now
I
I
love that.
see. You got to live it out. We're
So,
trying to go back to the future.
so right now, in the past couple weeks, there's been maybe 1,000, I don't know, 500,000, I don't know, players, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever. In the past few weeks, a lot of players who've been playing sports their entire life just got that pink slip. They'll never play at that level again. And going back, you looking back in that moment, Jimmy, okay, what do you tell a player? What information you can give that individual that will allow them to position themselves to pivot, to prosper? What would you tell that individual or even you? What advice would you give? Because the only people I believe that can give that advice are the people who
Is us.
walk through it and come out the other side. A lot of us don't make it. We get caught up in coaching or just staying real close to the game. But what would you do, Jimmy? I mean, what
First, they
would you
need to
say?
understand, in my opinion, that football and sports wasn't your purpose.
Mm,
It wasn't even your identity.
mm.
It was your platform.
Good point.
It was your
Point.
platform. That's why
Okay.
when I, what irritates me the most? Everybody talks about D1. I talk to these young bucks. Hey, what do you want to do? I want to go D1. I'm like, that's stupid. So if you don't go D1, what are you gonna do? Go to the trap house? You don't go
Ah.
D1, what you gonna do? Go to the bodega? D1 or bust? Huh? That's crazy. This is why people are caught up in believing that their identity is in athletics. So if they
Wow.
don't hit the highest space of athletics, they're failures.
Mm,
Check this out. At one time, one of the number one NIL guys wasn't even a D1 athlete. I mean,
mm,
true NIL. I ain't talking about them giving you money like collectors. I'm talking out there with businesses. I'm
hmm
talking out there getting sponsorships and such. Not D1 athletes. You know why? Because they didn't see that their identity was in football. They saw that their platform was football, right? And I'm allowing my gift and my passion and my true identity to prevail and take that platform and do something with it, right? So these a lot of us homies that used to play ball, that's one of the first things. Like, y'all need to understand this football thing, this basketball thing, this baseball thing, it's not your it's not your identity. You know that. It's your platform. But I would also tell them is that listen, you were privileged for how many ever years that you played to be in the safest, most dynamic places to be able to commit, to master and commit to the process of success. I think everybody's trying to win. And I know that's the name of your book. I love your book. I have it over here. Love your book. Well, this is the danger with some people's psyche with that. I'm more concerned with the journey. I'm more concerned, are you willing to do what winners do? Some people think if I don't get on that top podium, I lost. And that's not the truth. The
No,
truth is,
worse. It's not fair. It's not fair either.
it's not even fair.
Right.
Bro, when I used to train, you know why I love training little defensive ends? Me and your son went through it when we worked out.
Right.
I'm like, Caleb, you're never going to beat that guy. He's bigger than you. He's stronger than you. So why are you battling him? We out here fighting battles that we have no business being in that battle with.
Wow.
None. You see what I'm saying? None.
Right.
Understanding that it's the journey. Now this is the tough part. Whatever you want to be fulfilled in or win in, you have to learn to master that. That comes with a lot of effort. That comes with a lot of failure. That comes with a lot of rejection. That comes with a lot of soaking stuff in. That comes with a lot of mistakes. But you got to learn, in my opinion, to master, because you have to take on the process as if you're called. Like, for instance, consider you want to be the best realtor in the game. You have to go after it comparable to how Carl Lewis went after practice to be the best Olympian in track and field history.
Right. The process is the product.
The process, I like that. The process equals the product, right? The process equals the product, not where you end up on the podium. So you're going to be judged not based upon where you end up on the podium. You're going to be judged by what you put into the process.
I love that.
We know, you and I both know guys. You at Indiana and me at Ohio State, that ain't never played, wasn't going to play. They wasn't going to get on the field, but they can walk on that campus in that facility right now as if they were dang near a Heisman Trophy winner, with respect, adoration, admiration, because of the work they put into their process.
Yes.
You got guys also that we all know that were the best. Man, true story. I got a call the other day. Somebody said, man, I said he was one of the best athletes to ever come through Ohio State. I said, but I don't endorse him as a human being, not based upon collegiate activity. I said he may be a dope dude, he may something, but I don't. See what I'm saying?
Right.
We know guys that have gotten rewards and awards and accolades based upon their athletic ability. We're looking back like, ooh, he's a scumbag.
Yeah, and that is so dangerous about success. The most dangerous thing about success is that you get a little bit of it. It's number one. And number two is that you rely on certain tools, but the higher you go, character is going to count. The higher you go, technique, your process will count.
Consistency. You'll get exposed.
You will get exposed.
You'll get exposed.
Listen. And there's nothing worse than getting on the stage and you ain't ready. Okay, because you don't get them chances.
I told someone, and I told you, I really fight for my consistency.
Right.
I was giving them an example of how do you judge and allow people in your life? How do you follow people? How do you, if someone says I'm an Indiana Hoosier, how do you know if they are or they're not, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, people are like, oh, I believe in this, this, and this. I'm like, I don't care. That has nothing, even spiritually. What you believe, like, has nothing to do with me. What I'm supposed to do has everything to do with me. But this is why that's safe for me. I'm not telling everybody to do this. It's safe for me. Back in the day, before they had all of this technology, they used to do movies on reels. Everyone knows when they say cut, what does that mean? That means the scene's over, right? Well, that's actually not true. The scene is not totally over. They want you to what they call hold frame. Because back in the day, when you hold frame, they would have more tape to edit with. See what I'm saying? At the end. Well, most people can't hold frame. People will say, I'm this. They'll say, I follow this. Oh, I'm the son of the Most High. And I such and such and such. And I ain't talking about just general mistakes or even people just getting into stuff. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about you saying that, and then somebody poke you, and then you like, oh, you crazy. Or you, I'll be like, okay, and then making excuses for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As opposed to just saying, hey man, I just crashed out. I'm tripping. No,
Yeah.
bro. No, no. This is this is and that and such and such and I'm like, come on, man. I let
It's
people do that.
I can soon learn to do it if you let me see it done. I can watch your hand in motion, but your tongue too fast may run.
But that's part of it. Identity.
I need for you to tell the audience because I'm pretty sure people want to get in contact with you because you're real and you're authentic. Please briefly tell us how can we get in contact with you, Jimmie?
Well, check it out, guys. As you can see, I got it. You guys can check me out at Jimmie Bell Empowers, Instagram, also Facebook. I'm getting my YouTube up. So all of those places you can check me out. Just make sure it's Jimmie because I don't know
Oh,
that Y fella. I don't know him at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
anything to do with him. He has nothing to do with me. But you guys hit
Awesome.
me up. I do a lot of different things, but I'm always open to conversation, good, respectful dialogue.
Hmm.
That's what I do because I think dialogue is the honest and open dialogue. Listen, one thing you're going to get from me, and I would love for everyone to work on, because I'm a lover. Lover requires me to be understanding, right? People
Hmm.
think I'm patient. I'm like, oh, I ain't got that gift. My love makes it look like I'm patient, but it's understanding. Some people
Sure.
say communication is the number one thing. No, it's not. Understanding is. Some people don't have the prowess or the fortitude to sit and understand someone even if they don't agree with them.
Mm.
You can change someone's trajectory of their life in their perspective by simply articulating to them that you understand. Because to understand someone means that you're willing to give everything you have, put it all on the line so they can have that moment of their space in the perspective that they have. That's what love
Okay.
is.
It's love. So
Last thing,
go
love
ahead.
is somebody who's willing to think, operate, consider, and execute on your behalf, even if they don't benefit.
Ooh,
So when I say I love y'all, I actually do. And I can put my words in my mind and my mouth to it.
that's a wrap, Jimmie. Listen, sir, thank you so much. It's just a blessing to
It's
have you
not
to do
over.
this. Oh
Sean, it's
no,
not over.
say it was over, Jimmie. I
We'll see you
didn't say
next
it was.
week. We
I didn't say,
started.
didn't
We'll
say
see you
it was
next week.
over. Yes, we will have to have another follow up to this, especially because of the work you do for Ohio State and your podcast, and you do game day and hosting and
Yeah,
things like
just
that.
do a
So
lot of different things.
yeah,
And I would love to get into some national stuff if that's what the podcast dictates. I think there's a lot of
you know what?
leadership
Listen,
and lessons learned in that space. We can switch the name. What do they say in Law and Order? Doom, doom, doom. The names have been changed, but the stories are the same.
let me ask you a question in closing. Is Ohio State going to the Natty?
I'll say this, and you heard me say this a long time ago. Once Slickety Nickety leaves, I said two things. The landscape of football will change and Alabama will change. I believe that Ohio State is the best position to take over until the next phase of NIL and transfer portal takes place. One of the things that Ohio State has seemingly done the best of, despite all of this incredible money that's being passed out, the foundation of being a Buckeye has seemed to be paramount over the extra money that
Mm,
is being awarded to some of the
mm,
fellas. And I
I love
think
that.
that's Coach Day. I'm happy we
Yeah,
held out. He's a different dude, and I'm happy they gave him an opportunity to run
yeah,
his program instead of managing Coach Myers because they're Sean, they're
right.
two totally different people, bro.
That's a good word. Well, listen, on that note, hey, till next time, Jimmie, till next time, audience.
And welcome to the party, Indiana. Y'all, you legitimately finally have something to talk about.
You know what, Jimmie? You are stringing this pot. We're going to just cut this up into two podcasts right now,
I'm
and we're going
teasing.
to roll. But no, listen. The next time, it'll be sometime mid-season, and we'll be getting to ingest. I'll be able to digest Indiana, and digest Ohio State, and then we can give some unique and some profound insight. But listen, we got to roll. Thank you. Be blessed, and don't ever forget this: if life is a game, you play to win.